Good evening, everybody. This is the first one of October, and we all know what October means. The veil's getting thinner every day, and the ghosts and goblins come out to play. I love this time of year. And it's the day after Barb's birthday. Now, this is Barb. She has a channel called A Soul's Journey. So if anybody wants to ask her questions, then see, it says no one's here yet. That's okay because people will watch us later.
That's right.
Uh, but what does this time of year mean for you?
For me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is like my favorite time of year.
Hello,
Um,
Erica.
Hi, Erica.
She's the one that's got a gator underneath her truck.
Ooh, careful.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you say for you? It means what?
Um, well, besides the veil being thinner, I just have a lot more energy this time of year. I'm more excited. Um,
Well, that was because yesterday was your birthday.
well, my birthday doesn't mean a whole lot to me, but from my birthday until December 29th or 30th
Uh
is
huh.
like my favorite time of year. Not crazy about the cold, but the rest of it I like.
Uh huh.
What's your
So
favorite thing about this time of year?
Halloween or Samhain, however you want to call it.
Yeah,
I love the changing of the colors.
yes, I like that.
And it's supposed to be cooler temperatures, but we got another 10 days of hot heat before we get any cooler temperatures.
Come over here.
I don't want cold temperatures, I want cooler.
Oh no, it's not cold here. It's like 70 degrees.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be here in the upper 70s. Now it's in the 80s and 90s. And oh, Barb, on here,
Yes.
you can type weather and then either your zip code or your location. Like, watch what shows up.
Uh, do I do that over here in the chat?
Yeah, see how night bodies tell you? Weather for Franklin, conditions are clear with temperature of 72. The wind is blowing from the northeast 4 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 47%. You do it in your chat where it says post a comment.
Okay, I don't get posted over on comments. Here we
Now,
go.
in Horatio, Arkansas, conditions are sunny with temperature of 79. The wind is blowing from the south southwest at 0 miles per hour. In other words, there's no wind, but it's 67% humidity.
Okay. It tells me to connect my YouTube account to join the live chat.
You didn't do that?
Must not have.
Because you can live stream off of me.
Okay.
But you should be able to post down where it says post a comment.
There we go. Well, it wouldn't let me before it told me to connect.
Oh, the gator was under the house because that picture looked like it was under your truck. Oh, okay. Now I see. I forgot you live in a mobile home. You didn't put a location. You had to put weather, space, and then your city and state or whatever, you know.
It doesn't like Canada.
No, it'll take a minute.
There we
See?
go.
Conditions mostly cloudy with temperature of 57. You're already cold. The wind is blowing from
That's
the south-southeast at 9 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 44%.
it's 57 because the sun is going down behind the mountain.
Yeah, that's why I said you're already cold. We're still at Erica's at 79, and I am at come on, let me see that back there. I'm at 72.
Yeah, a few years ago, I went back. God, it's been just 2018 probably. And I went back and found out that all the clothes I brought was for this weather, and it was like 80 degrees there back then. I had to go to Windsor for something.
Uh-huh. Hello, Mike. And Mike's weather for Wilshire is conditions are clear with a temperature of 66. The wind is blowing from the northeast, 9 miles per hour. Current humidity is 32%. Oh no, Erica. Her car broke down on the interstate Monday night on an overpass
With two
with two
babies in the
babies
car.
in the car. Oh. Human babies or animal babies?
Good evening, Mike.
Now, Barb, tell them a little bit about your channel.
I'm a writer, and the channel originally was called Writing, Ruminating, and Reincarnation because I had this idea for a book. And it's where I read some of my work, but I haven't posted in a while. I'm working on a new book right now called A Soul's Journey. And it's about me remembering past lives and then bringing everybody through those past lives. A few ghost stories in it too.
Erica said it only took 2,400 to fix it. It was your grandbabies. Oh, I'm glad you guys got home all right.
Yeah.
I can remember
Well,
back.
it's
I can remember
go ahead.
back years ago when $2,400 was all you needed to buy a car.
That's been quite a few years, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary though, to be stuck on an overpass with your two grandbabies.
Yeah, Lucas would be a trooper because he'd be worrying about you and those babies. Lucas is your service dog,
Oh,
a little bitty thing. So this is the freaky time of year. And as the month goes on, the freakier it gets. Look at the earrings I'm wearing. Get up closer, everybody can see.
Oh, wishbone.
Those are actual quail wishbones, gold plated.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I got those from Ed Got Bait a few years back. The same ones that I wore to the Ren Fest. Yeah, it's spooky season, Mike. When I was a kid, we walked just about. Good morning. I mean, good evening, Joseph. I'm used to saying good morning, but it's evening.
Good evening, Joseph.
We lived about a mile away from the elementary school. Now, about a block or two before the school, there was this abandoned house that was reputed to be haunted. Well, my brother Cork was being challenged to go into it by his friends and everything else. So, Mr. Rough and Tough has got to be all macho. But I tell you what, he was white as a ghost himself when he came running out.
Now that I would have loved to remember.
You were. I'm not even sure if it was before you started Head Start. But I mean, the bully got bullied. What was okay? I see what that time it was.
It's probably because of the attitude he walked in there with.
Yeah, ain't nothing gonna scare him.
Yep.
He would never talk about it. But I do remember starting to go in it and getting dragged back out. And I seen there was a mirror. And mirrors in places like that are, I think of as mirrors of truth. They reveal what is hidden about you. And he probably saw himself and scared himself because he was a bully.
Yeah, he was. He was a bully.
But yeah.
But he was easy to get to though.
Yeah.
You just tickled him and tell he'd roll on the floor laughing and they bounce on him and he quit bugging you for a while.
Okay, Erica, be blessed and stay safe. And make sure that gator doesn't get Lucas. Yeah. Because Lucas would just make a little bite for him.
Little snack.
Yeah. But do you remember anything strange about the house you lived in when you were little?
Aside from the fact that I used to talk to a little boy that nobody but you and my other brother could see, Ralphie.
Yeah. Well, talk a little bit about that.
What's that?
Tell what you remember about that.
I used to always play and talk with a little boy, and Ralph one day, because he would play with them too, and Cork would come in the room, or the adults would come in the room and wonder who I was talking to. And I thought they were stupid. And then Ralphie told me it's because they can't see him. And I said, well, why not? He said, because he doesn't have a body.
Some people are blind.
Oh, okay.
They can't. Yeah. I used to tell you, some people just can't see what's in front of their nose.
Yes. And then as I got older, people would tell me it's because you're more open and can see things that other people can't. It's all there, but some people just can't see it.
Yeah, because you life is how you perceive it.
Exactly.
And if your perception is more open, you see more of what's really going on.
Exactly. And even though I see a lot more than most people don't, I know I don't see everything.
No, we're not supposed to.
Nope.
Because even when you go into religion, excuse me, and people talk about they dream about God or they dream about Jesus, they dream about how their mind can handle it.
Yes.
They see what they can accept.
Yes. When Ralph passed away and he was with me in the car on the way to Fort Wayne to view his body, I asked him about the afterlife, and he said he wasn't allowed to tell me. We have to discover that on our own.
Hello, Howie. Thanks for stopping in.
Earthlings.
Yeah, you need to connect to his channel. Howie, type quail, the exclamation point quail, and it'll drop your link. Barbie, you can do the same thing.
Exclamation point quail.
Yeah. It'll take a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just got you under your regular name. It doesn't have your new channel name yet.
They're linked. So even if they go to the
Yeah.
other one,
I
it'll
know,
just
they're late, but that's what I'm saying. And there's Howie's channel, Food Forest Permaculture.
oh cool. That sounds interesting.
In other words, if you open up the YouTube channel of Vase Place in another window,
Uh-huh.
you can click on it and be able to um, subscribe. And everybody that's got a channel is welcome to drop their link. I can remember one time when I was little, I get woken up by noises. And I would follow the
Sorry.
sound into the kitchen. And we had one of those swinging kitchen doors. And I'd be frozen in my tracks because I could see the dishes, silverware dishes, everything flying all over the kitchen. And I would stand there. The second time it happened, somebody's hand grabbed my shoulder. And when it did that, everything fell to the ground. Turned and looked, it was Dad. He says, "Don't worry about it. You'll understand it when you get older."
Okay.
And when I
Well,
looked back in
Verna,
the kitchen, everything was back in the cupboards again.
I remember, I'm thinking that was you because
That's
I
what
remember having disagreements with you as a kid, and then just my half of the room would be a mess when I got home from school and not yours.
Well, that would have been my subconscious.
Yes. I'm thinking.
Do you guys
There
have
was
a ghost story you'd like to share?
there was a house we bought in Windsor, and we were remodeling it. It hadn't been remodeled since like 1930,
Uh-huh.
and we were renting a house like doors down. So I went over to tell the guys that were working in there that lunch was ready. And as I opened the door, a 2x4 that had been leaning against the wall, it was 8 feet long,
Uh-huh.
it did one of these, like somebody had stuck a foot on it and then it flipped over.
Uh-huh.
And I just said, well, hello there. And my husband and um, his cousin's husband, who were working in the house, said, that's fallen down 3 times today. And I laughed and I said, it's because we have a ghost in the house. Now lunch is ready, and I left it at that.
What
Excuse
was
me, my dog decides it's time to go outside.
that? Brutus,
Hang
you're
on.
being a pain.
Isn't he always?
Mm-hmm. She'll be back in a minute. There she is. Joseph said hi,
So,
Barbara.
oh, hello.
You can just call
So
her Barb.
after moving in the house, things would come up missing. Tools would get hidden while they were still working on the house. And all you had to do was say, Abe, can I have that back? Turn your back on where you left it, and it would reappear. He was just a trickster. He was so much fun. But he must have liked us because the wisteria out front hadn't bloomed in 10 years. We moved in and it bloomed.
Uh-huh. But there, let's
Anybody
see.
else got any questions?
I'm trying to see if anybody else is going to say anything about any kind of stories they have. Or anybody want to come up and tell a story. Let me put this in here. Because then I got to pin the link in just a second. In order to use the hey Pharma, good to see you. If you want to open up the YouTube channel, you have to turn the volume off so it doesn't backfeed. Pharma's a pretty good one. He's got a good one. Hey JJ, haven't seen you in a long time.
Hi, JJ. Hi, Farmal. Excuse me while I close my door.
See, and JJ forgot my name. Yeah, I met JJ in person at QuailCon.
Come on, lay down.
Hello, Andy. If you have a ghost story, go ahead and click the link and join us. Yeah, you're still kicking, JJ. You ain't going to give up.
Hi, Andy. Three water bowls, and the dog is drinking out of the toilet.
That's why I keep the lid of my toilet down. That way I don't have to worry about a wet seat.
Oh no, I put the lid up. I'm not one of those women who complain because the lid's down, because I've got dogs that drink out of it, so the lid goes up.
Well, I don't let my dogs drink out of it because you never know when I'm going to put a chemical in the tank to clean out the tank.
I don't do that. Brew, leave her alone. Brutus, she does not want to play. Leave her alone. Come on, lay down. Tessie, quiet, please. I have a cat too, and they decided it's time to play. However, the almost 16-year-old cat doesn't like to.
Uh-huh.
Yes, Andy, I'm her sister.
Yeah, that's my middle sister.
That's exactly what the vet said, Joseph. The water's fresher in the toilet bowl. That's why they drink out of it.
Well, she's got her water bowl is about 5 feet away from the bathroom door.
He has to pass two water bowls to go to the toilet to drink.
Yeah.
And as you can see, he's not a small dog.
Sarah just asked, is that why they look alike? My face is long, hers is round.
Bathroom door shut.
Well, see, I don't shut my bathroom door.
I don't shut any of my doors except the spare bedroom. And that's just to keep the cat off the carpet.
But I figure the bathroom, I keep the lid on the toilet. And that was from when I had an inconsiderate male around. And I told him, well, if you put the lid down, then we both have to pick it up to use it.
Yeah, that's the way I used to do it when I had Courtney, my other cat.
Uh-huh.
Because Courtney used to try and jump on the lid and would miss, or jump on the seat and would miss and land in the toilet.
Here's a good one. JJ's got a motion detection nightlight. Her dog guards it and turns it on every time it turns off. She thinks she's controlling a light switch. In a way, she is controlling a light switch. I got enough light here that, well, I got my curtains closed because if I didn't have my curtains closed, I'd be seeing everything I do. But in the bedroom, there are thinner curtains and I can see light in the bedroom.
That is a wonderful thing about where I live.
See, Barb was named after my mom's sister, Aunt Barb.
Yeah.
And my baby sister was named after my mom, Carol.
Carol.
Ralph was named after Uncle Ralph, and my brother Quark, whose name is Kenny, was named after our dad. And it says, kept the door shut because I used to have plants and baby chicks in my bathroom. Just became habit. Cats. Yeah, I remember when you used your that bathtub as a brooder, Andy. Yeah, but see, I've got two cousins that are named Barb.
Yeah, they both passed.
Rafina's sister passed,
Yes.
and Aunt Barb's daughter passed.
Oh, Aunt Barb's daughter passed years ago. She had I can't remember what it was. I'd have to ask Amy. I don't have time to
Oh,
play at this
wow.
moment.
And they were so much younger than I am.
Yeah, she passed like in her 20s, Aunt Barb's daughter. And Barbie had aneurysm burst, aortic aneurysm.
Mom had an aortic aneurysm in the primal part of her brain break. That's what killed her at 55.
Yeah, and it was like 6 months after her husband passed away from a blood clot.
So that could have been another instance of broken heart syndrome.
Yes. Yeah, because they were pretty close.
Okay, there you go. And he says
Ah,
he has a lamp almost like that, Barb, like what you got.
yeah. My, oh, you'd have, this is the whole light. I stand it up behind the couch.
So you guys can
I
read.
bought, I bought it at the auction. There was an auction house in town at one time. And a lady was mad at me because I outbid her.
Oh, and Mom and Dad's friends, special friends, the Ostranders, had a set of twins, Barb and Carol.
Yeah. They were actually distant cousins of mine. My dogs aren't spoiled. I'm well trained.
You have a blessed night, Mike, and thank you for stopping by.
What's that?
I was telling Mike he had to leave.
Oh,
And he says, other than the lampshades, it's the same.
wow. Yeah, I like this lamp. We thought we had a ghost in the lamp at one time.
Was it short?
Yeah, it was the ceramic part on where you screw the light bulb in
Uh-huh.
because they're ceramic and not the. It had a crack in it, and we didn't realize it when we first bought it.
Uh-huh.
So Rick replaced that.
It's okay. Come on. Well, then just sit there and be a brat. Yeah. Just sit there and be a
Oh, did
brat.
you receive your package yet?
Yes, thank you. I haven't put it on. It's sitting on the dining room table. I got that on your birthday.
I bought a birthday present for somebody else on my birthday. I bought me a desk, but
Yeah, I would have to dig the rings out, and I'm not pulling that out of the shelving unit. It's a tight fit.
ah,
So I'm leaving it in there for the time being.
there you go.
But are there any ghost stories about the town you're living in?
There's several haunted buildings in the town we're living in. There's a community center here. It used to be a store and it had a whole
General
bunch of
store.
uses.
A
What's
general
that?
store type thing, right?
A what?
An old general store type thing, right?
It was a grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 3 stories to it. And in the downstairs, there's a library right now where the store used to be. There's a library and Legion Hall. Well, when you go around the back, you're on the 2nd story, and there's the community hall, and nobody uses the 3rd story, but they store things up there. And we cooked the Christmas dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we did it for a couple years in a row. It's a community Christmas dinner. And I had to go, there's a stage on there that leads up to the stairs going up to the 3rd floor. And I had to go looking for a pan, and I found most of what I needed on the stage. I turned to go back down into the community center, and I heard 2 voices. One of them said, "What you're looking for is up here." And the other one said, very deep, ominous voice said, "Come on up."
Mm-hmm.
So I took 2 steps up and said, "Don't want to play your game. Bye." And went back downstairs.
Uh-huh. JJ says she lived in a haunted house once. There was always footsteps behind us and sometimes whistling. It
Cool.
used to turn on and off the lights, and our dad would blame us, so we got yelled at.
Oh,
Now, when I was born, my parents lived in this building that was turned into a bunch of little apartments. And they said that every night at a certain time, I would get fussy, that nothing they did would quiet me down. And then all of a sudden, I get deathly quiet. And that's when the haunting would start in the building. And my dad got mad one time and yelled, "You're not scaring us out of here," threw open the door, and the hallway was splattered with blood. Well, what he said is that the next morning, him and a couple of his buddies went through the whole building looking for where it came from. And they get to a locked door in the basement. And they break the lock out, and in that room there was coffins that were strewn asunder, and some of them had bodies in it.
oh my goodness. Oh, was that the funeral home that I heard about when we were little?
Yep. They lived in that when I was born. They
Yeah,
didn't
and I
live long.
heard something about there used to be a step up. Well, it turns out it was like where they used to display the coffins, and that was in the apartment you guys lived in.
I don't remember it. I only remember seeing walls. Of course, I was a newborn baby, so.
Yeah. What's your
Um,
earliest memory? How old were you?
well, that is just seeing walls, and I wouldn't call that much of a memory. My earliest memory is when you were born and Dad was carrying me and Ralph from the car to the hospital so that we could meet you.
Ah,
So I was 3 years old and Ralph was 2.
yeah. Mine, I was, and it's a very brief snippet. I was an infant in
Yeah.
grandma's arms.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the only reason that I knew what she was saying was because she was holding me and she told you guys to go out and play. I just got out of the hospital and I was too little. And I saw you and Cork and Ralph kneeling at her feet.
Yeah, and I learned how to change diapers by changing your diapers.
Yeah, I was your living doll.
But anyhow, you talk about the earliest memory is I was before I was a year old, I was in the hospital, and that's when they had the metal cages for cribs. And
Yeah.
mom was supposed to come and feed me. She never showed up that day.
Hmm.
And the one nurse was telling the other nurse that she's tired of this. She is not going to watch any baby starve because they have a neglectful mother.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not get into too many childhood memories.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying is I didn't care. I just knew nobody fed me, and I was hungry.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, I spent more of the first 6 years of my life in the hospital than I did at home.
From your asthma?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mostly because we lived across the street and at the end of the block from the American shipbuilding that was burning. Every time they burned pig iron, I was in the hospital.
Yeah. Yep.
And JJ, a lot of times people would blame things on kids, and the kids were innocent. They just happened to see it.
Well, here, our lamp is plugged into a socket that you turn on and off by a switch. And there's a chair up against the switch. And I would be watching TV and really getting into something scary, and the light would go off. I couldn't figure out what was doing it until I realized it was the cat. She would curl up on the chair and lean against the light switch and turn it off.
JJ wants to know if Andy has to go because her husband's home. And Andy says she don't know yet. Depends on how annoying he gets.
Dad figured it out, and then we moved.
Well, I tell you what. Remember when I lived on the corner of Valleywood and Kelsey?
Yeah.
That place was haunted.
Yeah.
And it was a woman in a white gown, and she would, "Hi, Danny."
Hi, Danny. With the light going on and off? No. So many weird things have happened in my life that was the
But
least of the scaring.
yeah, to us, it doesn't bother us.
No, I went to a reformatory in Ohio on a ghost hunt only because that kind of stuff didn't bother me.
Joseph, you have a blessed day, dear.
Bye, Joseph.
And where is which camera? Well, anyhow, when Billy Ann's father and I got divorced, he tried to convince the court that I was possessed by a ghost.
Okay. How did that go for him?
I don't know. I wasn't allowed in the hearing. Just the attorneys and him were in there. I got
Oh,
stabbed, but who cares? I got rid of him.
yeah. I'm sorry, but before Ted, you picked a couple of winners.
Yeah. But oh, we all make mistakes. Every mistake is a lesson to learn.
That's right.
It's not a failure, it's just a lesson to learn.
Oh, I didn't say they were failures.
But I will say one thing.
They gave you some adorable kids.
I outlived all my mistakes.
Oh, there you go. You know, Rick and I are about to celebrate our 38th anniversary. And every time he tells people that, they say, "Wow, I can't believe you're still alive, Rick." Come on. Oh, hang
Oh
on.
boy.
Told you I'm well trained.
Oh, oh, he wants to know where the camera is that we seen that he was home.
Oh.
They don't realize it. He doesn't realize Andy told us.
Yeah. She told on you.
No, we're that psychic.
Yeah. Hey, monkey, do you want up?
Oh, I met someone. Well, she isn't here yet. She isn't here today. At least I don't see her. She could be watching us. But I met this wonderful woman at Renfest.
Yeah.
And at the Toadstool Shadow show.
Yeah.
And she became a subscriber.
Cool.
And that's because I told her about ideas of how she can make her own masks and how she can plaster Paris the face, and that you can use paper mache to make a mask.
Yeah.
I said, I'm full of ideas. All you gotta do is ask the right question and I can tell you what to do.
You are so knowledgeable about so many things.
That's because I follow my curiosity. JJ says, I know all my hubby's tricks, so there's no surprises. I think that makes marriage good. Yeah, but I like a little surprise. Or things get boring.
I just scared the crap out of my husband, so now he spoils me rotten.
Oh, Danny bought Andy some dinner. So she's just around, but she's going to eat. Give that man a hug.
I shipped mine off to work.
No, you fed him and he escaped.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he had a rough night, so he works mostly nights. So he came home, took a nap, which left me quiet. I fed him dinner and then he left.
Mm-hmm.
Back on the job. Short run tonight.
No, there's more videos are coming out about the Renfest. They're short videos. And that body cam just broke them down into 15, 20-minute increments, which is just perfect. So that gives me, I got a couple scheduled still, and I've got about 4 more I have to do yet.
Cool. You know, that place has not changed since I took Rue there when she was little. Actually, a friend of mine took me and her there when
Uh-huh.
Rue was little.
Well, Rue took me there about 10 years ago or so. And then I took them there this time. They drove,
Yes.
but I paid. You know, that's my treat.
It was kind of funny because there's one tree there, and it's like, okay, I remember surprising her with her little wreath
Yeah, I
with
remember
the,
that. Her having one of
yeah,
those.
that happened underneath that tree when I was watching one of your videos. Actually, when it popped up on the screen, but hubby took control of the TV. So
JJ, Ted, my belated husband, he used to bring me flowers every time he went to the store. I'm not a person that likes cut flowers. So what I told him, I says, I don't like cut flowers because they die within a few days. I'd rather have plants. Welcome back, Joseph.
hi, Joseph.
I'd rather have plants or silk flowers. That way you can just rinse them off and dry them out and they're fresh as new.
Yeah, that's another ghost story. After
What?
he passed, Ted asked me to write a letter to his kids.
And did you do it?
Yes. He wasn't happy the way they were treating you. So he wanted me
They
to write
didn't
a
even
letter.
come. I still got his ashes. They were supposed to take his favorite son was supposed to pick up his ashes to take him to Paris Island. Yeah. Well, we knew that's why we didn't want a memorial. He didn't want a memorial because he knew that if I was at a funeral home, his kids would just break in and steal everything.
Yeah. He did not have the, I won't go there.
Well, when he was in the hospital, his oldest son broke in, tried to break into the shop and steal all the tools.
Yeah, I remember that.
Joseph says, we knew what we needed. Well, tell him, JJ. Ask him, why don't you ever buy me flowers? It would just really brighten my day. Sometimes you have to tell men.
I'm the passenger princess today.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Moore.
That's probably why my marriage has lasted so long is if I have an issue, I speak my mind. Some people tell me I'm too blunt. I have and he won't.
Mrs. Moore said hi. That's sweet.
Hi, Mrs. Moore.
Well, JJ, quit doing the little things that make him feel special.
Yeah. And why won't he buy you flowers? Did you ask?
She's even told him that she would like to experience him giving her flowers at least once.
I know, but did she ask
Um,
why he won't?
Now, Ted had another thing. Well, congratulations, Mrs. Moore. Well, JJ, that's fine because I'm a Taurus, the bull, in traditional horoscope. In Chinese horoscope, I'm a dog. So I'm a bulldog. And people say that fits perfectly.
I agree you're worth the price, JJ.
Oh, tell him it's a waste of money to make you happy. A smile is priceless. Well, it's a good thing I wasn't talking to him because I'd give him a what for.
Don't get me started on what's a waste of money.
Yeah, but see, in Chinese, I was born in the year of the dog. So I'm a bulldog. Pit bull has nothing on me.
I have two young ladies that worked for us during the summer, and they said they liked me being blunt.
Well, that is bluntness can be a blessing and a curse.
Yes. Like I told a friend of mine once, people either love me or hate me because of the bluntness.
Well, JJ, you need to get cheap on him.
I agree. But I like Andy's comment.
Yeah, become a Chihuahua Audie.
I learned in vet tech school that Chihuahuas bite more than any other dog, but because they don't do much damage, it doesn't get reported.
Oh, not only that, people are embarrassed because the little dog hurt me.
Yeah. I had one bite me.
See, here's words of wisdom, JJ. This is
Yes.
from another man. Nothing is a waste of money as long as she is happy.
That's what life's about, making
You're
others
supposed to
happy.
be, yeah, you're supposed to be a partnership. Oh, to us, it's not a game. Bob, you go ahead and talk. I'm going to go get some more coffee.
I made my husband's night. I went to the dollar store and bought him Australian licorice. He loves it. But it's the little things that matter, not so much the big ones. Like he puts up with my big dog because he knows I like big dogs. It's Andy, it's a really soft licorice. I would show you the bag, but he took it with him. It's black. Yeah, I found out going on strike doesn't really work because then it just makes more work for me. Is it your favorite candy bar? People tell my husband that he should buy me flowers. And I feel the same way Verna does. Buy me a plant. Well, if you would have let me wash that slobber off your face, it wouldn't itch right now.
I had to answer a call that can't be refused.
It's whatever charity is selling. Well, it's nice that he helps the charity, but it would be nicer if it was one of your favorites. Somebody's begging for attention.
I had to answer a call that could not be ignored.
Oh, is everything okay?
Oh yeah,
Okay, good.
nature's a call you can't ignore.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Well, see, look at that's better than
Nothing,
flowers.
but it's just whatever charity is selling one at work.
Uh,
He's a caveman. Yeah.
uh, oh boy. And it says the X would not take trash out once, so I went on strike. By the end of the strike, he took out 6 bags of trash, and I got a new set of dishes because they all got tossed in the trash. Joe says he buys his wife flowers every year for her garden, and I wish there was perennials, but they are not, so I have to get more every year. Haha. Now, my belated, what he used to do with me, I was working at Myers, and I'm on duty, and he did the shopping because I don't like shopping. So he would pay for the groceries, and he'd have his bunch of flowers. He tried to hand it to me when I'm on duty. I said, "Oh, thank you, dear, but you got to take them home. I can't have them here." And I finally
Yeah,
told
he
him,
was a sweetie.
he was also the type that if you liked something, mostly if it was tool or something that was productive for you, he figured 1 is none, 2 is 1, 3 and more means a backup. To the point
Yeah,
that
like
I had six bread machines at one time.
I was just gonna say, so how many bread machines did you end up with?
And that's not counting the three freezers, upright freezers. No, 2 freezers, 3 refrigerators, 2 stoves.
We own a food truck, so there's 1, 2, 3 freezers in the garage and 1 in the house. Mine Mine doesn't take the trash out of the house, but I throw it off the deck. He puts it in the garage and then he hauls it all to the dump. So that's a good question, Andy. Verna, did you mute your microphone?
I did. Inquiring minds want to know. Now, Ted was good. He always took out the garbage. He when I worked shifts where I couldn't cook, he cooked dinner for everybody.
Yeah, he was a good man. Very loving man.
Um, he did dog duty all the
Yep.
time, cleaning up the dog doo in the backyard. In fact, that's what he was doing when he died.
Yeah, I remember. I was coming to take you out to lunch.
And he was mad at you and didn't want to go.
Yeah.
I think part of it was he was mad because you were late.
It's late. Yeah. It was because Penny. Oh, that's my thing.
But he wasn't going to go.
Yeah. And Billy Ann went out to tell him that
And she didn't see him.
no.
And you know what, Eddie? She just trashed every pan in the house and told him no one was going to yell at me again for which pan I used since I was the cook. His mom thought I was horrible. Well, that's what happens. That's what happens when you marry a mama's boy.
My husband very rarely comes in the kitchen when I'm home.
So I was working second shift for a while at Myers. And this is before I got to third shift. And Dad stopped by and told me he was going to make some hamburgers for dinner. I got home from work and I seen what he made. I said, those are meatloaf burgers. Because, he was born during the Depression.
Yeah.
And you learn to stretch your money when you got 6 kids. And his first wife didn't do any cooking. So he'd go work. He'd be 12 hours from driving and working. Then come home and fix his 6 kids, and food and everything. That's what you call it, JJ.
Why are you so lovey? What'd you do wrong? Yeah, that.
Oh. He said he didn't do anything, Mom.
Yeah. This is how Rick is with food. One time when we were first married, I made chicken pot pie from scratch and I forgot to put the seasoning in it. After his second helping, and I'm choking down my first, I said, "You like that?" He said, "Well, it's food." Next time I made it, I put seasoning in it. He ate 3 helpings and decided it was good.
Now, Ted, remember, he had a big old dinner plate, and he had to pile it up to a point.
Oh, wow.
If we went out to eat, he had to have at least 2 complete meals.
All it took to straighten my husband out is to look him in the eye and let my natural personality come out because he had pushed me beyond mad. And when he tells people the story, he tells people that he thought he was married to the devil's daughter. And when I heard him tell his version of the story, I was behind him. He didn't know I was there. And I whispered, "Honey, I'm nobody's daughter. I'm the devil herself. And don't you forget it." He's treated me like a queen ever since.
Was Rick? No, Rick is not a large man.
No, he's larger now than he ever was, but no, he's 5'9". He used to be 140 pounds. Now he's 210. No, but I've had large men come up on me too, and when I just look up and smile at them, they back off. I can be very intimidating.
Not to me, ain't.
No, because you know I'm a softie inside, but I guess I have a mother look that makes people afraid.
Yeah, JJ said her husband had to eat a ton of carbs to do his work. Yeah, in construction, yeah, you have to.
Oh yeah.
When I
We
was
had
a
to
kid,
flip.
I'm going to show you
I'm
guys a picture of me of when I was young. Let me find it.
Don't turn sideways. They won't see him. See you.
Let me see.
Rick used to say if you turn sideways and stuck out your tongue, it could be used as a zipper.
You wish. Okay, let me see.
No, lay down.
Here's one.
We go ahead. Wow.
Yeah, that was a bikini back in the 70s, early 70s. And let me see. Move that one. See if I can show you another one. Oh, this is the artwork that I did a few years back. And this time of year is just when you guys really need to let me open it here. See, I just took some leaves. I painted the back of the piece of wood. Then I glued the leaves on, and then I put glossy finish on it, clear finish.
That preserved the leaves so they didn't turn brown.
Right.
Cool.
Well, there were some brown ones. These were all after they fell.
Well, yeah, they were brown because that's the color they were when you picked them up. But
Right. And the
that's
red
what I
ones
mean.
were the same color they were. These are all different types of maple trees and stuff
Nice.
that I gathered. This is when Lucy was a pup, and I gathered them then. Yeah. Now I'll show you another picture of me when I was young. See if I can find it.
No, go lay down. Please go lay down.
Yeah, I don't have it anymore. I gave it to somebody for a gift after I showed it on my apartment door for a while. Let me see. I have to go into a different file for the one that I'm looking at.
JJ, when you're talking about people needing a lot of carbs, we own a food trailer up here. And at the beginning of the season, the wildlife firefighters were clearing the lines, the electrical lines to prevent fires because it's windy up here. And even the young girl who was pretty thin ordered our bacon deluxe cheeseburger, which is a third third pound of meat with bacon, lettuce, tomato, onions on a big bun. She ordered a double one with an order of fries, and we serve a pound of fries. And she ate every single bite. This was for lunch. They had worked all morning and they were starving. I was impressed.
Here's one where I look like a scarecrow.
I never had that problem. Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's what when your oldest was just a baby.
Yep. And I was working in a restaurant.
Yes.
Back when that picture was taken, I could out eat a construction worker. And I was that skinny.
Yes. You were pretty tiny.
Yep. Let me see another one. Here's one when you came to visit, Barb. Let me get this up here.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yep. When you were in Arkansas.
Yep. That was on top of Pettigene Mountain.
Yep. Wow, that was a few years ago.
Oh, yeah. 46 years ago.
Yeah. I was a junior in high school. No,
Okay. It's the last one I'm going to share of the past today.
Yeah, she was.
There's Michelle. There's me. And that was my first husband. I was 20 years old in those pictures. I had
She
my
just
first,
looked like she was 12.
yeah, I was 19 years, 3 months, and 11 days old when my daughter was born. And she was 20 when she had her first daughter.
So you didn't do like our cousins, huh?
I didn't do the family tradition. They thought I was gay because I was still a virgin at 17 and a half. Yep, and I survived. I always survive.
Yeah.
That's what scares people.
And survive with a smile.
Oh, yeah. That scares them worse.
That's right.
I had people say, Berta, no matter how bad things get, somehow you always manage to come out smelling like a rose.
had an employee one time say, "Oh no, Barb's mad." And I looked at him and said, "Nope, I'm just annoyed. You haven't ever seen me mad."
Oh man, I was working at Radio Shack right after Ted died. I'm handling this very irate customer. And I'm not feeling anything. But I see my boss and another one of the guys kind of look at watch what she does. She's mad. I wasn't mad. I was just waiting to understand what the guy needed to make him happy. Oh, it's like Michelle told me that when she was little, she didn't like it when I didn't have any expression on my face because they thought they were dead. And I said, no. I says, I actually wasn't feeling anything. I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
You're waiting to see something that you need to react to.
Right.
No, what the hell is Lucy? No, you're going to lay down for a little while, darling. You guys just came in. You don't have to keep going outside.
They say, yes, we need your attention too, Mom.
She saw the neighbor dog go out and they like to bark at each other over the fence. But yet you take away the fence, like take them to the dog park and they play. They're the best of friends.
Oh, right. It's just like there's one friend down the when I take her down the long walk, that I can let Lucy loose and she'll go right up to the fence and they bark at each other like they're going to tear each other apart and race up and down the fence. It's just they're playing. They just sound like they're going to kill each other, but they don't.
Well, Brutus's hair comes up and the other dog sounds like it, but yet there's been a couple times where Brutus has gotten through the fence or jumped over the fence. And then he just stands there and the other two dogs, but he's a mastiff, so they're protective over their yard.
Exactly, JJ.
I don't do drama. Yeah, I agree there. One's a Rottweiler, one's a Mastiff, so they're protective over their yards, but you take away the yard and they're fine.
Well, not only that, they know there's a fence between them.
Yeah.
So it's just, they're just talking to each other. Hair going up could just mean that they're excited. It doesn't mean they're aggressive. It means they're excited. You have to watch the whole, you can't take just one thing. You have to look at the thing as a whole.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, they do this whole, it's my yard, no, it's my yard kind of territory thing. And then get them outside the yard, they're fine.
Or even if you open up the gates between the yards, they would be fine.
Yeah, if we had one.
Huh? If you had one, yeah.
One. Yeah. I saw the funniest video of two dogs on either side of a fence with a gate. They were just little dogs and they were like trying to bite each other through the fence, and he pulled the fence away and they looked at the person pulling the gate because it was on wheels. They looked at the person pulling the gate like, what do you do that for? And they stood there and looked at each other, closed the gate again, and they went crazy.
What you think, Desiree? Are we or aren't we?
If you think if they think you and I look alike, they should see me and Carol. Going through customs was fun. Mine will eat one of the dogs because she's seen it attack. Oh, yeah.
If the dog attacks you, that's a different story. It's just like when
Go ahead.
When the people upstairs they have 3 dogs and they've got a reputation as being biters. And I went to take garbage out, and the only one that was on the leash was the big one, which was still small. But those dogs came after us, and I'm sorry, but anything come at me fast, I freak. It's part of the PTSD. So I'm taking one of the water jugs, trying to hit them to keep them from attacking Lucy. Then she tries to call the dogs over, and the big one gets close to me because it's on a leash, and she's not paying attention to what that one's doing. And Lucy got between me and the big one. I just dropped what I was going to throw in the garbage and said, I'm getting the hell out of here. Took Lucy, we got out.
Yeah,
well, I don't see
dogs
them much, you guys. I really don't.
The dogs next door that my dog has a problem with, they both love the heck out of me. They spent a year when the two dogs were puppies over at our house. So it's not like their dogs ever hurt me or anything. Matter of fact, I'm the only one who can reach in the truck because he takes his dogs everywhere. And I can reach in the truck and give them a kiss because they think I'm mom.
Mm-hmm. Now, Lucy doesn't like stray dogs approaching me unless they say hello to her first. You know,
Then
dog
she can gauge
etiquette.
their
Got to greet
attitude.
another dog before you go to the human. You know?
Yeah.
If the dog doesn't greet her first and just came straight to me, she's going to get out and warn him off. Because she's afraid that I'm going to bring another dog home.
She loves you, Lucy.
There was 3 dogs that was running loose one time after a rainstorm. I mean, these dogs were left out during the rainstorm. Well, it wasn't raining at the time, and Lucy and I was walking and got these 3 dogs running at us. Now, I didn't feel threatened by them. I was curious. But they ran up to Lucy first and sniffed her, and she got to sniff them. Then they came to me, and they tried to come in my apartment.
We were scared.
No, they were what? They wanted to be dried off, and yeah. I told him, no, I had to call the guy downstairs to come out and kind of help me keep the dogs out while Lucy and I got into the apartment and closed the door. Lucy is leery of men too. She barks very viciously at him. Of course, she was abused by one. We figured out she was abused by a guy with a lot of facial hair.
My dog is fantastic with pretty much everybody, even if he doesn't trust them, as long as he's between me and them, he'll let them pet him, but he's on guard. But once you leave the yard or go down the steps to the deck, you're not allowed to come back in until I open the gate.
That's okay, Joseph. You got to take care of your wife and your family. We understand that.
Yes. I've never had anybody brave enough to try and put their hands on me.
I had a coward body check me. Lucy wasn't looking at the time. And what he was doing is he was trying to antagonize her. And we both knew that. But he was a pedophile that was living in the apartment complex, but he's been gone for a long time. So he was the one that raped his 3-month-old daughter.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I can understand the different color, but old people. I wonder what she had against old people.
Attitude, maybe?
Now,
Yeah,
one
my
thing
dog is.
I'm leery of small dogs usually.
Yeah, me too. I had a 90-pound boxer who was scared to death of small dogs because a mini pom bit his ear. Her ear.
It's people are so stupid. I'm
Yeah.
not going in that. Let's get back to Halloween. Let's get back to October. Um, because we're starting to get a little bit into politics and my temper's coming up. Well, you know what, Joseph? If you would stand up and bend over, then she can do it. She can raise her foot and kick you right in the bum.
So, what other ghost stories do you have, Erna?
Um, I used to have when I lived on Valleywood and Kelsey. That ghost. Oh, I'll tell you a better one. Ted was still alive, and my friend Jan came over one day and was knocking on the door. Well, we weren't awake yet. Ted had went to the bathroom, was going back to bed just before she knocked. When she knocked, she thought she saw me coming in a white nightgown, white flowing nightgown, to open the door. And then she looked up in the thing again and seen me at the hallway. And I was just coming down towards the door. And the other one had disappeared. She says, I thought you came to the door the first time. And I go, no. She goes, I couldn't figure out how you changed your clothes so fast. Well, Joseph, just get down on your knees and bend over.
um, it sounded almost like astral projection.
No, it was the same woman that was with me in Bollywood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And no,
Um,
because the hair was longer and it was so blonde. It was almost Ted's color of hair, and Ted was a platinum blonde. But
I
yeah.
when I was about 12, 13, they were okay if they wanted to talk about the fact that I didn't take the house and just bought it. Oh, nice. You do realize they're still there, Andy. They just don't bother you, right?
But they bother the ones that she has problems with.
Oh,
Yeah, they do.
oh, when I was about 13, I wanted to know what my adoptive parents were doing in the living room. when I was sleeping, supposed to be sleeping. So I imagined the living room and imagined them sitting there and figured out what they were doing. All of a sudden, Millie looked up and stared right into my face and said, Barb, go back to bed. The next morning, she told me about astral projection. She was
Yeah.
so cool about that.
Well, it's just like when Mom and Sandy was making the plans. Hello, Lee. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for stopping in.
Hi, Lee.
Um, we're talking about freaky things, you know. This is the first day of Halloween month. But anyhow, Mom was making plans with Sandy about getting rid of us. And I was at school and I used to get in trouble for, quote, daydreaming. But what had happened is I heard what she had planned with Sandy. And then Mom looked at Sandy and says, we can't talk about it here or Verna a no. And when she said that, I jerked back into my classroom.
Yeah, I think that's astral projection.
Yeah. Well, the government would call it bilocating.
There you go. Or remote viewing.
Yeah. Well, I was in two places at once. That's why it would be bilocating.
Oh, cool, Andy.
There was two roses that came up, and I named them Richard and Teresa. My friend next door came over once and said, those are pretty. And when I told her what I named them, she asked why. I said, I don't know why I named the plants. She looked at me and said, that was their names. Yup. JJ says once she saw a friend of hers walk through her room in the middle of the night and right through the walls. Freaked her out. Later, I found out he was sick and thought of me, and that happened. Yep.
There was one time when we were visiting Ralph and Judy,
Uh-huh.
when Judy was pregnant, and Carol liked the boy down the hall. And so we were laying in the living room, and I said, okay, I'm going to go tell you what his apartment looks like and what he's doing. And he had no furniture. And he was in the living room laying on a bunch of blankets on the floor and a pillow. But there was a community bathroom. It was an old Victorian, and all of the apartments on the second floor shared a bathroom. I think there were three apartments, two or three. So Carol said, I want proof. Make him have to go to the bathroom. And I said, okay. So I kept calling his name and telling him he had to go to the bathroom. Next thing you know, he gets up and I jump back into my body. And we hear him go in the hallway, go into the bathroom, turn the light on, and close the door. Carol doesn't ask me to do that stuff anymore. Aw. So she just relocated. It's not just people. When my boxer passed away, the other dogs we had kept watching something, and I saw like a mist go across the floor, about the size that Jasmine was. And the other dog was afraid of it. And I said, that's just Jazzy. She just changed forms. So then he used to go lay down by it
Hmm.
after that.
I had both Maxes come and visit me. You know, Ted's Timberwolf and my Roddy.
Yeah.
You remember what Max did to you guys when Ted was in the hospital and I was there all the time?
What?
When Rick called you to come over to my house because Max wouldn't let him take the newspaper out?
Yeah.
And tell him
We had
about
to
it.
put down the newspaper in order to get out of the house. Well, you could come in, you could feed them, you could do whatever you wanted. You could pick up anything you wanted. You just couldn't walk out the door with it.
And he wasn't a biter. He just used his body to block the way.
Aw.
Lee said the same year his stepdad died, he had a very realistic dream that he was picking me up from school, 4th grade, just like any other day. But when he turned his head to look at me, he was decaying and dirty. Yeah.
That was one rule I made, that I didn't want to see what the body looked like after death or their death.
Well, remember, I was still in shock after Ted died.
Yes.
And he would visit me in my dreams. And I was at the point, I said, you're supposed to be dead. You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be where it's better. And I said, because you're dead. So the next time I seen him in my dream, he was decaying flesh. Well, he was cremated, so he never went through the decaying process. You know?
True.
Then the last time was when I was being attacked by something, and he came and he got rid of it. And then that was it. That was it. And he says, this house been completely remodeled when we bought it. But I know what the old floor plan was. My friend was besties with Richard and Teresa when they lived here. She would ask me how I knew stuff. The
Did you
one
tell
thing
her
that was
Teresa's
most real was one day I was sitting one more. I heard, go ask about Crystal. I had no idea what or who Crystal was. Yeah, Lee, that is stay with you for the rest of your life, dear. And while we're waiting for Andy to finish, read what JJ said. One time I felt harassed by my ex, deceased father-in-law, so bad I called his son and told him to deal with his dad. Yeah. At least she agrees that is scary. Annie says that, so she went and asked her friend and said, I'm supposed to ask her
Hang
about
on, honey.
My friend said, how do you know that? And I told her how.
Hang on, honey.
I'll put you on mute, Barb, until you come back. So what was Crystal, Andy? Anyway, Crystal was Teresa's daughter that had gotten in a wreck the day before and airlifted to Springfield 2 hours away. Crystal ended up being okay. Oh, that is great. Lee, do you have any more scary stories? Now, Wednesday nights is we do different things. Saturday mornings, we talk about more about homesteading and information that helps on that. You're allowed to ask questions on either day or concerns. And everybody's welcome. Is anybody using, when they process their animals, are they saving any of the skulls or anything for the holiday season? Because, quail skulls make great earrings, and so do quail feet. And rabbit skulls are great too for Halloween, getting things ready for Halloween. Mostly if you're processing a lot during this time of year. Not scary, but once I saw a blue gas like ball fall from the sky and bounce on the ground, and a blue fox rolled out of it. I didn't go outside for about a week after that, and no drugs. Yeah, you seen a Native American spiritualism stuff there. And he says, one day someone stopped by from church and said, I think I've been here before. Then he looked across the room and said, hello, Teresa, how are you? Oh, yeah, I've been here. And the other guy said, who are you talking to? Desiree says, yesterday she found out her hurt quail is a really good mom. Yeah, JJ, that is, you have to look up the blue, what blue represents, and that's usually peace or balance. And a fox, a blue fox. Let me look that up for you. Okay. Oh, I did it in the wrong place. Let me close this one out and open the other one here. Okay, in some traditions, seeing a fox is considered a good omen, representing good fortune, cleverness, and the power to overcome adversity. and a bluish gray or a dark gray winter coat of Arctic fox. But the spiritual symbolism of intuition, a fox can be a messenger guiding you to sharpen your intuition. And blue is frequently linked to higher consciousness and spiritual awareness. The unexpected presence of blue, especially in natural form, like a blue fox, could suggest a unique or mystical insight. And blue is usually associated with healing, tranquility, and divine connections. So you got you unblocked, right, Barb?
Yeah.
Okay. So the
Yeah, sorry about that.
was very good spiritually. Koala said, okay, Kealo, I can't pronounce your name. One time, Joe and I were sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden, a soccer ball came bouncing down the hallway. Yeah, that's good.
Somebody wanted to play.
Tell my sister Barb. Oh, you got a sister Barb too about it.
Yeah.
Find out what the heck it was. No, because you were seeing something that manifested physical, which was a spiritual message for you.
You're trying to tell me something.
Andy says when she first met her husband, she looked out the back door and saw a guy figure walking across the yard. I asked hubby who had passed away on this property before. He told me an old man, so and so. I asked if he wore coveralls and a top hat like that, like hat. He said, yeah, why? I said, I just wondering. Oh, it's koala is how you pronounce it? Okay, thank you. Sometimes my mouth and mind don't work together. Yeah, but you were wakening up spiritually as well. And sometimes when you shift consciousness, it gets a little scary. Yeah, Joseph, I'm sorry I butchered her name. But she's always welcomed in here. Desiree says she put a chick in with her because it wasn't doing good with the other chicks, and she'd been taking care of it, following around and showing it how to eat and drink and even letting it peck her. Andy says a few months after moving in, the mirror lifted up about an inch or three, then fly off the wall about a foot away. I was the only one home. Cool. I think the old man's name was Mr. Hall.
Sometimes they just want attention.
Yeah, just to know that they're still making a difference.
Yeah. Yep. When I heard voices when I was a kid in our bathroom, which was the room next to us, my mom said, just ask them what they want.
Mm-hmm. JD said, I once dreamed that seemed more like a vision of a man walking in my yard with long hair and a wide brim hat. He turned his head and glared evil at me. Yeah, you gotta watch it. Not all spirits are nice.
No.
Then I don't want to talk about when I'm pretty sure something ran right through me. It felt like it spun me around. Everyone around me saw something weird with my face at that moment. Yep,
Yeah, that's the one thing I was told is that you need to set down
boundaries.
rules. Yeah, boundaries and rules and what you will allow and what you won't. But even with that, I had one. I was in the grocery store when my mom's best friend passed away, and I heard her name, and then I felt her go right through me, and I shivered and said, "That was weird." And she said, "I was just saying goodbye," and that was it.
Hmm.
And another lady in the store said it looked like a light had gone through me. Just waiting for the dogs again.
Uh-huh. Desiree said when she was little, she always had demons attacking her.
Ooh.
Well, when Billy Ann was little, she played with these twins. The girl was nice, but the boy was mean. And what it was the boy was just wanting her attention. And when I explained to her that she has to tell him, no, he's not allowed to do that, or he'll have to leave, he quit being a brat.
When it just slipped my mind, never mind. Oh, when I was young,
Let's do Desiree's.
my
Let's do Desiree's first. One time I was crying in my sleep. My sister woke me up and a giant hand mark was on my arm. She pointed out, same arm that it grabbed me in the dream. Too small for my tiny hand, and no one was up, so you don't know. The same as Kaya. Kaya.
wow, wow, that would be frightening. One time when I was young, I had an uncle pass away, and in my dream, he came into my room and was talking to me, and we were having a really good conversation. And then I said, "Uncle Joe, your funeral is tomorrow. You're not supposed to be here. You're dead." He said, "I'm sorry because you said that. Now I have to leave." And he turned around, walked out. And I
Well,
woke up totally shocked.
when I was at the home, Grandpa came to me and told me he had just died. And for me to remember, always remember that he loved me.
Aw,
When I woke up, I was sad because my grandpa died.
yeah.
And it took them 3 months of convincing me that he wasn't dead, that it was just a bad dream. 3 months later, they came and told me, well, your grandfather died.
You know, when I found out, when the caseworker came to my house after adoption or after the adoption, hang on, I gotta go get the little one.
It was mad because she took an apple from a tree for an apple pie, and then she was on a train trying to run away in a dream. Yeah, so when a child, a pre-tree, was already told in her dream that by her grandfather that he was dead, and they wouldn't let me grieve, and then they put me through it all again. That is abuse.
Yes.
Just like I seen Ralph after he died. I seen Ted after he died.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people right after they passed.
But see, when I was little, I was raised up by mom telling me what happened in her family after she got off the phone. Her aunt called and told her about her husband getting up in the middle of the night, eating in the kitchen. And she tell him, when you get done, put the dishes in the sink. But when she went back to bed, he was still in the bed, sleeping.
Oh.
And then he did that quite often. And then one day, she calls mom and tells her, I keep thinking his name was Uncle George, but I'm not sure. He had kicked her in his sleep, and died. In other words, he wanted her awake when he died.
Oh.
Yeah.
Usually I do the kicking when I'm sleeping.
I know, you were a brat when you were asleep. I got in trouble for kicking you guys. That was because you guys kept pushing me out of the bed. That's why I had to sleep on the couch. This is one that shakes Andy. About 6 months after
Somebody passed away.
I had a dream of her in a white, long, dangled arm robe dress. She was sitting in the road in a curve, and I knew the curve it was on. She pointed to a white car and did a spooky move with her face turned to death look. The car ran off the road and crashed. 2 days later, she heard someone she knew had a car wreck 2 days before. All I could ask was, he in a white car. Yep.
I'm sorry, was I mean by leaving you out there?
Well, we're going to have to bring this one to a close because it's after 10 o'clock and that's 2 hours. He was her daughter's ex-boyfriend, a real POS. Someone in the family said they were heading out to do the job themselves. Yep. And when I was little and I heard people call my name, and I would run towards where I heard the name was, and everybody would say, no, we didn't call your name. Finally, I was told, next time I hear someone call my name, to ask, yes, what do you want? Because they thought it was God, but it could be just a lot of different things.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, so your mom saved the child from doing it. Okay, now we'll be live Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope to see everybody there. Have a
good night,
blessed
everyone.
night. And thank you, Barbie, for joining us tonight.
It was my pleasure.